Finally, after such a long time, we've got a brand new Miraculous World special, and this time, it actually takes place in a completely new country. The Tokyo special has been released, and it's absolutely amazing. In this video, I'll go through the special, summarize everything that happens, translate all the important scenes, since the episode originally aired in French, and of course, share my thoughts at the end, what I liked and what I didn't. Alright, let's get started. I hope you enjoy my review of Miraculous World, Tokyo, the Stella Force Special. Let's go! The special begins with Ryuko and Argos in the sky, both in their astro forms, which we're seeing for the very first time. They look so cool, especially with those wings. The designs are stunning. They're clearly in love but have to part ways. Argos says he'll miss her, but Ryuko stays calm and tells him they'll get through it, then flies off. She transforms into her wind dragon form and heads to see Marinette, who's currently on a video call with Adrian. Adrian's in New York right now, and Marinette really misses him. They talk about their school trip to New York, and Adrian sends her a link to their song, the one they danced to in New York. They even start dancing together imaginarily through the screen. Just as Marinette is about to kiss the imaginary Adrian, the wind blows through her room and suddenly Astro Ryuko appears. Marinette quickly hangs up, Ryuko transforms back, and her Kwamis fly out. Kagami tells Marinette that they need to go to Tokyo. She shows her a news clip Tokyo is under attack by new villains called Kaijus, and a new hero team is forming there. They'll eventually be known as Stellar Force. Kagami says Ladybug has to help them so they can truly learn to work together as a coordinated superhero team. Marinette's confused but agrees. She then asks Kagami how she even convinced her mom to let her go to Tokyo, and Kagami basically says, "I didn't give her a choice." Remember, this takes place after Season 5, so Kagami already knows about Tomo's dark side. Marinette then calls her parents, who are half asleep downstairs, and asks if she can go to Tokyo for a few days with Kagami. Her mom says the tickets are way too expensive, but Marinette quickly adds, "It's fine, Kagami has her private jet ready." Her parents freak out a bit when Marinette admits they're already on the plane, but eventually they give in. Marinette is super excited for Tokyo. She then realizes she's still in her pajamas and didn't pack any clothes. When Kagami offers her something to wear, Marinette just asks, "Wait, don't you have a sewing machine on board?" Marinette's already sewn herself a cute jacket, and Kagami shows her a group chat where the new Tokyo heroes talk. It's all in Japanese, but luckily Tiki helps by merging with Marinette's earrings, giving her instant translation powers. We meet several members of the new team. Miki, the blonde one, Kazuno, dark-haired guy, Julu, the one with twin braids and pink vibes, and a few others whose names are harder to remember. They're discussing team names and leadership, arguing about who should be in charge. Kagami explains who's who, and Marinette's curious how she even got into that private chat. Turns out Kagami was previously friends with them. Later, Marinette suspects Kagami didn't just invite Ladybug to Tokyo for help. She needed Marinette's help too. They arrive in Tokyo, and the animation shifts into this absolutely gorgeous anime-style 2D art. It's breathtaking. Their taxi driver is a huge Paris fan. He's got a little Eiffel Tower charm on his mirror and says he loves France, baguettes, and especially Ladybug. They arrive at Kagami's grandmother's house where they're warmly welcomed. Marinette forgets to take off her shoes, but Kagami reminds her politely. We then cut to a mysterious volcano-like cave where a strange alien villain named Modular is talking to his minions. He's hunting for the stellar matrix fragments, the source of the hero's powers which he needs to return to his planet. Back at Kagami's grandma's, there's a huge dinner feast. Marinette is overwhelmed by all the delicious food classic anime comedy moment, so the grandma tells stories about old legends and mentions that tomorrow there'll be a festival where Kagami might run into her old classmates and maybe even her ex-boyfriend. Marinette's instantly shocked. Kagami insists he's not her ex, and she doesn't want to go anyway. Later, they visit Kagami's childhood room. Marinette looks around, noticing old photos. Kagami hands her a traditional robe and says they'll go to the onsen, which is a hot spring. Marinette panics at first, thinking they'll bathe together, but Kagami explains it's just a normal Japanese tradition. Marinette gets scared when she meets an older woman in the hallway. Turns out it's just Kagami's grandma's friend. They bathe, and it's a beautifully calm, cozy scene, honestly. I'd love to be there. While relaxing, Kagami opens up about her past, her strict mother, her lonely childhood, and how everything changed on her 14th birthday when she insisted on going to school. We see flashbacks of Kagami meeting her classmates for the first time, Miki, Kazuno, and the others. There's a funny sports challenge. Kagami wins by shooting an arrow through obstacles in half a second, and soon she starts bonding with them, especially Kazuno. Over time, she falls for him. But Kazuno loves Miki. Kagami accepts it, saying that feeling any love at all is enough for her since she grew up without it. It's a touching and sad scene, beautifully animated with the sunset over Tokyo. Back in the present, Marinette asks if Kagami came to Tokyo to tell Kazuno how she still feels. Kagami denies it, and then suddenly the ground shakes. It's not an earthquake. It's a kaiju. Ladybug and Ryuko transform and rush to help. We see the Stellar Force in action for the first time. They're strong, but clearly not well coordinated. Ladybug thinks maybe they don't need her, but then Kazuno gets captured. Ryuko steps in, transforms into her lightning dragon form, and saves him. The Tokyo heroes recognize her as Ryuko from Paris, and there's a bit of tension between her and Leo, the team leader. They summon a massive cannon to defeat the kaiju, but Ladybug realizes too late the monster is actually a transformed taxi with the human driver trapped inside. She uses her lucky charm, figures it out, and saves the driver just in time. The heroes are shocked they almost destroyed a human being. Later, Kazuno doubts himself, saying he doesn't deserve to be a stellar, but his pixie partner encourages him to keep believing. Marinette comforts Kagami, reminding her how strong she is for standing up to her mother and never becoming the cold soldier she was meant to be. They hug and fall asleep peacefully. Finally, we cut back to Modular, who's talking to a mysterious glowing being called the Supreme, the same entity from the Paris special. The Supreme says he's seen Ladybug and Ryuko working together before, but not in Paris. Maybe in another universe? So it looks like the Supreme might be the true mastermind across the miraculous multiverse, giving power to villains everywhere. The story continues the next morning. Marinette wakes up before Kagami, grabs her phone, unlocks it using Kagami's fingerprint, and sneaks outside. The Kwamis follow her and ask what she's doing, and Marinette explains that she's planning to organize a reunion for Kagami's former friends, or rather, still friends without Kagami knowing, at the festival that's happening today. With Tiki's help, she writes a message in Japanese in the group chat, inviting everyone to meet up and promising some food. Everyone in the chat is shocked that Kagami is still in the group and starts asking whether she knows the secret now. They also argue a bit about the group name, but Marinette is just super excited that it's all working out. Then she turns off the group notifications so Kagami doesn't notice anything, puts the phone back, and goes downstairs. She gets startled again by the grandmother's friend, and then asks the grandmother if she and Kagami can help her with her market stand at the festival. Marinette even does this cute little cat face for some reason, and she's just full of energy. She runs back upstairs, opens the door with excitement, and Kagami is still half asleep. Marinette pulls her out of bed, and next thing you know, they're on a motorcycle with the grandma and her friend, having breakfast on the way. When they arrive, they start setting up the stand, but suddenly, Kagami hears her name. She turns around and sees all her old friends, except for Kazuno. Everyone's really happy, but also a bit angry that she never said goodbye. Marinette asks for introductions, and Kagami presents everyone. Marinette asks if Kazuno didn't come, and the others say he never replied to the message. Marinette insists they should go find him, so Miki agrees and goes with her. Meanwhile, we see the villain, who has this kaiju-like creature, or maybe it's one of his helpers turning people on a boat into monsters. He even throws more of those things into a tank, transforming the fish and crabs into sea monsters. Then we're back in the car with Marinette and Miki. Miki admits she's in love with Kazuno and knows he loves her too. But she says love is something you have to earn. She wants him to prove himself first. When they get to his house, he's not home. The neighbor says he's out shopping for her. Kazuno soon shows up, gets super nervous when he sees Miki, drops his oranges, and they both bend down to pick them up. They bump heads and awkwardly apologize. Marinette watches them and realizes it feels familiar, just like how things used to be with Adrian and her. When Mickey asks why he didn't reply to the group message, Kazuno says he knew right away it wasn't Kagami who sent it. Marinette admits she wrote it, and he's shocked that Kagami is actually there. But then he says he doesn't want to see her because he hurt her. Marinette freaks out since Kagami said the exact same thing about him just from her side. Before they can talk further, monsters suddenly appear in the streets, turning people into crabfish creatures just by touching them. The whole Stellar Force fights them off impressively. They're actually pretty skilled. Kagami eventually grabs a soup ladle to defend herself, but when she's cornered, she has no choice but to transform into Ryuko. She summons her wind dragon and defeats a bunch of the monsters. Her friends are stunned to find out Kagami is Ryuko, but she makes them promise not to tell anyone, especially the grandmother and her friend, because they understand the importance of keeping a hero's identity secret. Meanwhile, Marinette, Mickey, and Kazuno head to his house. Mickey tells Marinette she must swear to tell no one. Marinette then witnesses Mickey and Kazuno summon their Techno-Pixie bracelets and transform into their hero forms, Leo and Capricorn, connecting to their zodiac constellations through their stellar matrix bands. Marinette is amazed by their transformations. Then she transforms too, calls on her lucky charm, and gets a motorcycle and helmet. She rides off to the market to help fight. Kazuno realizes the monsters have fake kaiju symbols, and together they step on those marks to free the victims. But there are too many of them, and every time they free someone, another person gets turned. They realize someone else must be controlling all this, and we see one of Maudlier's servants, who seems to be behind the transformation chaos. Ryuko fights with her lightning dragon, but when Maod accidentally reveals Ryuko's true identity to Kazuno, there's a dramatic moment where the two just stare at each other amid the battle. Ladybug then appears on her motorcycle, and the fight intensifies. A tentacle monster separates Ryuko, Kazuno, and Ladybug, and Leo ends up getting caught and transformed into one of the monsters. Everyone is devastated. Kazuno loses hope and detransforms, but Ladybug tells Kagami she needs to talk to him. There are things they both need to say so they can fight together again. Meanwhile, the corrupted Leo is taken to the villain, who wants her stellar matrix band and probably all the others to return to his planet. Ryuko finds Kazuno and gives him a letter she had written for him. Ladybug, on the other hand, realizes the monsters aren't real kaijus, they're just victims. That means she can purify them using her miraculous Ladybug power. She calls it out, restores everyone, and even frees Leo. She briefly fights the villain before he escapes through a lava portal. Kazuno reads Kagami's letter, where she apologizes for what she said before leaving that dancing with him only brought pain and admits she was wrong. They forgive each other, hug, and everything's beautiful again. They all transform again and return to the battle. Together, the Stellar Force realizes they can summon a giant constellation robot. Ladybug summons her own giant Lucky Charm robot, and Ryuko powers it with lightning from her dragon. Together, they fight the remaining monsters and win. After the battle, the city is in ruins. Ladybug offers to restore everything, but Mickey says they can't always rely on her, they have to fix things themselves. That's when one of the team members comes up with their new name, Stellar Force. Everyone loves it, and they use their combined power to restore the city, similar to Ladybug's power, but cosmic in nature. At first, I thought it was just a copy of the miraculous Ladybug effect, but it actually makes sense. The stellar matrix is a completely different cosmic energy source from the miraculous, which come from Earth. It's a different kind of magic entirely, so I'm fine with it now. They all celebrate, and we cut to the villain talking with the Supreme. Just like Hawkmoth, they plan their next moves, hinting that there's much more to come. Then we return to the festival. The atmosphere is gorgeous lights, food, games, masks, and Marinette and Kagami are just having the best time. They take photos, eat delicious food, and it's all super heartwarming. Marinette jokes about Ladybug being in Tokyo too, and Mickey definitely suspects something. Later, Kagami encourages Kazuno to confess his feelings to Mickey, and he tells Kagami to also embrace her emotions and not be afraid to show off her weaknesses. The fireworks begin. Everyone watches in awe. And it's just a beautiful ending. Afterward, we see Marinette and Kagami on the plane back home. Kagami has a new haircut from a Tokyo stylist, and Marinette says she's inspired to sew a new outfit influenced by Japanese culture. She sends a voice message to Adrian, saying she misses him and loves him. Kagami does the same with Felix, hoping they can bridge the distance between Paris and London soon. The special ends with Kagami looking out the window, but then, after the credits, there's one more scene. Adrian in New York listens to Marinette's message when Aeon, the New York hero, appears and asks if he's okay. He says he'll reply once they're done and transforms into Cat Noir. We see Aeon, Eagle, and the American Captain America-style heroine, and suddenly, a massive hand emerges from a portal in the sky. It looks like a teaser for another upcoming special, maybe set in New York again, though I'm not entirely sure why they'd revisit the same city. There are still so many other places and stories to explore like Brazil or other hinted locations, but we'll see. Overall, this Tokyo special was amazing. It gave us so much about Kagami's backstory and introduced the Stellar Force, which feels like a setup for their own spin-off series. The characters are all really interesting, and the connection between their powers and the constellations is super unique. I'm curious about the Supreme and how he ties into the larger Miraculous universe. The ending with the giant hand hints at something huge coming. I really loved this special. It wasn't the deepest lore episode, but definitely a strong introduction to the new storyline. If I had to rank the world specials, my list would probably go Shanghai last, then Paris, London, Tokyo, and still my number one New York. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future reviews. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the special, your favorite Stellar Force member, and what theories you have about the Supreme and the next chapters. See you in the next video!